I always get confused. Is it stepped going up?
Unstepped.
Unstepped is going down, and stepped is going up.
Yes, I think that's it.
It is our least favorite weekend of the year. We are decommissioning the boat this weekend. Normally, we take all of the soft goods off of the boat, all the cushions, all of the sheets, pillows, all of that kind of stuff, and we leave most of our hard stuff here, plates, silverware, all of that kind of stuff. This year, because we have some pretty major kind of construction-y projects to do over the winter, we're taking everything home. So it's going to be a project to get everything loaded, so we're going to get to it. So the one thing that we never take off the boat is water. We do take some of it off, but there'll always be some here. The reason for that is because a lot of times when we come up to work, we forget water, or when we go out for the first time for the year, we've forgotten that we didn't leave any. Been there, done that, we don't really do it. We always leave at least a minimum of 2 gallons worth of water on the boat at any time. That will stay here. I'm just gonna leave it in the icebox so that it's there and I know exactly where it is if I need it, and it's in a nice covered place so it won't get any dust or anything on it. I don't have to clean anything later, so. One last thing that you may want to leave on your boat is a little bit of toilet paper. Reason for that is pretty obvious. On this side too. Certainly one of the least glamorous parts of hauling the boat out is making sure you get a really good pump out. We take all of our sails and all of our canvas home with us every winter. The reason for this is if you've ever tried to get the smell of mouse pee out of things, you'll realize that you don't want to give them any sort of opportunity to make a nest.
Sails the track.
And it's official.
We have no more sails. Winterizing the engine is pretty straightforward. It involves changing the oil. Ideally, you change the oil before you haul it out of the water. That way you can circulate some of the new oil before you put it away. I was able to put some new oil in, but not change the filter. So right today, I need to change the filter, fog the engine, which is like spraying a aerosol oil into it. I noticed I have to do this with the engine cold, because if I do it with the engine hot, it'll actually run off this stuff, which is not good. Those holes right there. Take a little bit of oil, so I just use like a handheld oiler. I think I got a little bit of marble mystery oil in this thing. Just give it a couple pumps. And this oil right now, it's in the pre-combustion chambers because this is an old diesel engine. So there's a chamber above the piston that has the glow plug and the fuel injector in it. So this is coating the fuel injector, and the glow plug in that chamber, and then now it's dripping down onto the top of the piston and running out to the oil, the piston rings. So those will be nicely lubricated over the winter. And then another thing I like to do is pop the valve cover off. One, because it makes it easier to get to the glow plugs, at least on my Westerbeek Mitsubishi engine. And then I like to kind of twist the engine over until you can see the valves moving as I rotate it. With the rocker arms up, means the valves are closed and that the cylinder chambers are not open to the exhaust or the intake. So what I like to do is I like to roll the engine around. And on my 3-cylinder engine, there's a spot where rear cylinder is closed, front cylinder is closed, and then the middle cylinder is just about closed. You can also loosen up the rocker bridges, and that makes sure all the valves are shut, and then any moisture that's in the intake or in the exhaust won't get into the cylinders and cause them to rust. I do shove some paper towels in a plastic bag to cover this hole to make sure no animals get in there, because that's the air intake. And then one thing I do also do is I disconnect the exhaust, because it's pretty easy on this boat, and put another plastic bag over that. That way the engine's completely sealed.
The next step is to winterize the water tanks. The first step is to pull the plug, and then empty all of the water out of the tanks.
Almost entirely sucked flat here. So I just kind of squish it around, see if I get any more water out of it, but it looks pretty dry right here. So I'm gonna go turn off the pump for a second. Now I don't really bother putting antifreeze in the tank. This is a flexible bladder tank, and if a little bit of water freezes, it's not gonna hurt it. But I do disconnect the feed line, which is this one here. That's the fill pipe going to the deck. Feed line here. And then I'll stick this tube directly into my antifreeze bottles and suck up a couple gallons. Bring the bottles down, pop the lids off. Get them ready. Now I'm going to go back and turn the pump back on and turn the hot faucet on. That way the antifreeze is sucked into the hot water heater. Now I know just from experience in this boat, it takes about 2 gallons of antifreeze to flush the water out of the water heater and to purge all the pumps and lines. See, we got like foamy antifreeze coming out now, so we're all set. Winterizing the head is the easiest part. All we have to do is pour a little antifreeze down the bowl, pump it into the tank.
When we sold the truck this year, we weren't sure how we were going to get everything home from the boat, but let me tell you, everything fit in the van. The last step in this process for us is to just do a lot of laundry. We launder in the fall, and then we use fabric softener and dryer sheets to keep everything fresh until the spring. We have a lot of exciting boat projects this winter, so if you don't want to miss them, please subscribe. And thank you for watching.